Hi and welcome back to my channel. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Sian. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. There are loads of different types of video on this channel and I'm sure you'll find something that you like. I have my last to be read of the year for you today, my winter to be read. Hopefully this is going to take me through the kind of Christmas period into January, maybe February, depending on how fast I read. But I am looking forward to having some time, just some chill out time over Christmas with the family, which means I'll probably get to read. So let's get on with the books that I've got. First up is The Colour of Water by James McBride. Now I'm going to read the blurb to you for all of the back of these books. This one says, as a boy in Brooklyn's Red Hook projects, James McBride knew his mother was different, but when he asked her about it, she'd simply say, I'm light-skinned. Later he wondered if he was different too, and asked his mother if he was black or white. You're a human being, educate yourself or you'll be a nobody, she snapped back. And when James asked about God, she told him, God is the colour of water. This is the remarkable story of an eccentric and determined woman, a rabbi's daughter born in Poland and raised in the Deep South, who fled to Harlem, married a black preacher, founded a Baptist church and put 12 children through college. A celebration of resilience, faith and forgiveness. The Colour of Water is an eloquent exploration of what family really means. Really looking forward to reading this. This was mentioned quite recently, I think, by Reese Witherspoon on her Instagram, and she has a Reese Witherspoon's book club. And they were talking about books and mentioned this one as one that you have to read in your lifetime. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. And I definitely recommend that you check out Reese Witherspoon on Instagram, just for the books that she talks about. And she's really passionate about reading and education and women, and that's quite inspiring. So this is my first book. Next up I have a book which has been around for a while. It is Zadie Smith's The Autograph Man, and I think this has been around since sort of 2004-ish, but I've never read it. I've read a couple of Zadie Smith's books and I've never quite got into them. I don't know what it is, but I just thought I'll give this one a try and see if I can get into it. I'm sure I can. I really like the sound of it. It says on the back, deeply funny, subversive and splendidly entertaining, The Autograph Man is a whirlwind tour of celebrity and our fame-obsessed times. Following one Alex Lee Tandem, a 20-something Chinese-Jewish autograph dealer turned on by sex, drugs and organised religion, it takes in London and New York, love and death, fathers and sons, as Alex tries to discover how a piece of paper can bring him closer to his heart's desire, exposing our misconceptions about our idols, about ourselves. The Autograph Man is a brilliant, unforgettable tale about who we are and what we really want to be. Now this should be interesting because, as I say, it's kind of a relatively old book in that kind of sense, and the idea of fame has magnified so much in that time, so it'll be really interesting to read it, kind of knowing how things have sort of changed and evolved through that time. I'm looking forward to that one. Next up I have a book called Lost for Words by Stephanie Butland. This isn't a book I'd heard of before. It was recommended to me by Amazon, and you all know just how easily swayed I am by recommendations from anyone. It says, it's time to turn the pages of her past. Loveday Cardew prefers books to people. If you look carefully, you might glimpse the first lines of the novel she loves most tattooed on her skin. But there are some things Loveday will never show you. Into her refuge, the York Book Emporium where she works, come a poet, a lover, a friend. 3 mysterious deliveries, each of which stirs some unsettling memories. Everything is about to change for Loveday. Someone knows about her past and she can't hide any longer. She must decide who around her she can trust. Can she find the courage to right a heartbreaking wrong? Will she ever find the words to tell her own story? This just sounds really interesting, and yeah, I thought I would give it a go. Again, another one to look forward to. The fourth book I have is The Yorkshire Shepherdess by Amanda Owen, and this book has been recommended to me not only by Amazon but by actual people who think that the kind of pictures that I take on my Instagram, sort of lifestyle scenes, are very similar to their idea of the Yorkshire Shepherdess. So I'd be really quite interested to kind of read more about it, and you all know, if you follow my Instagram, just how much I love sheep. So I am really looking forward to reading this. On the back it says, every day at Ravensheath, a Yorkshire hill farm brings new adventures for shepherdess Amanda Owen and her husband Clive and their children. In the latest book, Amanda describes how they live in tune with the age-old cycles of a farming year as they tend the sheep on some of the country's highest, bleakest moors. Writing with her trademark warmth and humour, Amanda also reveals how 9-year-old Miles got his first flock. Reuben took up the flugelhorn and how she gave birth to a new baby girl. She is touched by the epic 2-day journey of a ewe determined to find her lamb, and gives a new home to an ageing, neglected horse. Meanwhile, Clive is almost arrested on a midnight stakeout to catch a sheep-worrying dog and becomes the object of affection for a randy young bull, beautifully evoking the landscape of the Dales and the hardy folk who farm there. A year in the life of a Yorkshire shepherdess will delight everyone who has dreamed of living close to nature. As you all know, I live in the Yorkshire Dales, so this should be kind of a really relatable book for me, I guess. Obviously I don't have 1,000 sheep, but I would quite like to have 1,000 sheep. The final set of books are a trilogy, and they are the Philip Pullman trilogies. And my sister suggested I read them because she couldn't quite believe that I hadn't. The first one is Northern Lights, and I'm really looking forward to reading them. They're set in Oxford, which is where I was brought up. On the back it says, without this child we shall all die. Lyra and her animal demon live half wild and carefree among the scholars of Jordan College, Oxford, but the destiny that has awaited her since birth takes her on a dangerous journey to the frozen north in search of a kidnapped friend. It's a journey that will have immeasurable consequences far beyond her own world. Now this sounds really exciting. It's a young adult fantasy book, and I'm just looking forward to sort of immersing myself into that world, and because I was brought up in Oxford I should know a lot of the sort of reference points and things like that, so that should be fun. The second one in that trilogy is The Subtle Knife, and this one says, Will is 12 and he's just killed a man. He's on the run. His escape will take him far beyond his own world, to the eerie disquiet of a deserted city, and to a strange, savage girl called Lyra. Her destiny is linked to his own, and together they must find the most powerful weapon in all the worlds. And the final one is called The Amber Spyglass. And this one says, we're going to the land of the dead, and we're going to come back. Will and Lyra, whose fates are bound together by powers beyond their own worlds, have been violently separated, but they must find each other, for ahead of them lies the greatest war that there has ever been, and a journey to a dark place from which no one has ever returned. Goodness. So I'm really looking forward to reading that whole trilogy. I don't know if I'm going to read them all in one go or kind of break them up a bit. I also have a Margaret Atwood trilogy that I sat down to read a book the other day and realised it was the third in a trilogy, so obviously I couldn't start it until I order the first two. So I've put those on my Amazon wish list for Christmas. If you're watching my mum and my sister, go check them out. Yes, so those are my books that I'm going to read over winter. Please let me know what you're going to be reading. I love recommendations, and from the last to be read that I watched, I ended up buying 4 books. So if you have any recommendations, I'm very easily persuaded if it's a book that I like the look of. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. If you would like to, then please subscribe, and I will see you again soon. Alright, bye!